Rolling. What is up, everyone? Welcome again to none other top 10 show. This time, films that need sequel. Another special topic from somebody, super fan out there that asked us to do one.
Super fan,
dude. Super fan. There's only few. There's only 3 we've done so far that were fan. The fans asked
requests,
for. Fan requested, yeah.
But we
love
them.
So, Scott Icebox Nemi here again with my boy Trace Couch Patchin, and for the second straight week, we have another newcomer. What's your name?
My name is Aiden Soberlik, but my friends call me AIDS, unfortunately.
Well, we got AIDS here. He's minging. But anyways, what about those Golden State Warriors, dude? Your boys, they pulled it out. It's done, dude. I think it's done.
Yeah, hopefully they can seal the deal in Game 7, but last night was a hell of a show. I mean, they were down the whole game going into the fourth quarter, and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson just really came up clutch to the end. So
yes,
that was good to see.
I don't think OKC stands a chance. I didn't think they were going to win last night. I don't think they're going to win. When do they play tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Yeah, so I don't think they're going to win tomorrow. Either way, I wanted to see the Cavs versus Golden State in a rematch, or Cavs versus OKC. Either way, I don't care what the finals
Either
are.
way,
I'm not a fan of any of them. So
right.
To me, I think a rematch with Golden State, dude. I just want to see Cleveland win a title, dude. I want to say that I lived in a time where I saw Cleveland sports win something.
Where you saw Cleveland win something of relevance.
Yeah, so
in the sports world.
Right, and not counting Ohio State, because that is not Cleveland.
That doesn't count.
But anyways, so we're doing not on our top 10 show films that need a sequel, which is really tough. So laying it out on the line, I think. Personally, I had to be pretty strict. No prequels for me. No reboots. And anything that I know is coming out, I had to take off the list.
Oh, you did? Okay. I know there was discussion last time.
But that's for me. What do you guys?
I did. I mean, the only thing that I allowed myself to do was to add sequels on top of a sequel. So, like trilogies and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like Pirates of the Caribbean 4 needs a 5 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, which I think is legit. It's a sequel, dude.
Yeah,
it's a sequel to a film that happened at some point in time. So
Correct.
I agree. AIDS, did you have any other criteria for the films that need a sequel?
No, I mean, I didn't really come super prepared like you guys did, but I mean, I just kind of looked at a couple movies, like particularly ones that don't like have a sequel whatsoever. Like you were saying, like trilogies and whatnot, but I more so looked at some films that I thought could have a sequel, but at the same time, it's like, do you even need a sequel for that movie? Because it was already really good, and like it kind of like left off like the story like. It's kind of hard to continue, but I mean that's just another point that you can take into account.
Especially for older movies too, because I mean that's borderline like remake, really. I mean a sequel at this point is potential remake, slight sequel quality.
Right, like Independence Day, like coming out like this summer. It's like this. I mean,
it's very random.
Classify that as a sequel because like
technically it is. Yeah. It's kind of a both. That's kind of what they do nowadays.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think for anybody listening, they understand how this goes. But for AIDS, we made a top 10 list. Each of us did on films that need a sequel. What we'll do is we'll break down our 5 through 1. If it happens that we have the same film within our top 5s, whoever has the higher film, meaning closer to 5, will have to replace that film with one of their 6 through 10. And you have to go numerically. So it has to go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So if I have Kindergarten Cop at 5, AIDS has it at 2, I'm going to replace my number 5 and replace it with my number 6. If my 6 is gone, then 7, and so forth and so forth. So what we'll do is we'll break down, we'll do 2 apiece. So 5 4s, 3 2s, and then our number 1s all the way around.
Cool.
Okay? Sound good?
Sounds good.
Anybody want to start?
I can do it.
All right, cool.
Okay, cool. We'll jump right into this. This one is a would be the third film in the franchise, but I think it's just fitting, and it's been rumored a lot. 28 months later would be the next one, to the 28 weeks to the 28 days later. I love the first one, Danny Boyle film. It's seriously one of my favorite horror thriller films. And I thought the second one wasn't a bad follow up. I mean, it was a setback, I think, but it wasn't like most sequels where, I mean, they push too much of the same thing. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah.
Like there was still a new storyline in this one with the father and his children and stuff like that. And they've been rumoring 28 months later for a long time, but it's never happened, and there's nothing 100% green to go. So I think that would be a cool thing to finish the trilogy.
No, that's a great thing, because I don't think the last time we saw 28 weeks later was we were in high school, right?
Yeah, it was like 2007, maybe a little earlier.
Yeah, so I think going off of the big hit that 28 days later was. Giving us those they were fast zombies too, right?
Yeah, well, it was more of like
an illness, almost like a flu or something.
Yeah, they didn't really want to
out.
Push like this zombie feel, and they never said the word in the movie. But like, I mean, it's in the same vein. It's more like a virus thing. You know what I mean? So,
well, I'll tell you this though, that that scene with the dude from Trainspotting and the Full Monty, he's in the
second one, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's also in Once Upon a Time.
Robert Carlyle.
Yeah, Carlyle. Yeah, that's it. That opening sequence when he dips on his wife and he's running, and then you get that like helicopter view, that bird's eye view of that horde chasing him. That is such an intense sequence.
Yeah,
like
it really is. It's a good intro to the film.
Do you guys ever play Assassin's Creed?
No.
Have you ever played Assassin's Creed?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so you know when you're warping from like today's world to like whatever he flashes back to. I don't really know the storyline of Assassin's Creed, but like
I get you.
In the one that I have, I think it's Assassin's Creed 3, where you can go back and play like the Revolutionary War. There's like a sequence when it's loading, but you can run as the character, and I always did that. I made the camera angle go really high and just have this dude running from nothing, and just thinking like, that's such an awesome scene.
That is.
If I ever made a movie, I would have a scene like that.
Oh, absolutely. Where you see the hordes of zombies just coming over that hill, and him they're close on him, but it's a high angle, and it's great. It is a really good intro. Intro to the scene, and I mean, the last 28 weeks later ended up with kind of like a cliffhanger. Anyways,
right?
They thought it was done again. And then the last scene of the movie shows a bunch of zombies.
Is Jeremy Renner in that movie?
Yeah, and he gets, spoiler alert, he gets the axe halfway through it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He gets burned, right?
Yeah, he just gets burned.
He's pushing the car.
Yeah,
and they burn him.
So I think that would be a cool movie to do. All right, number 4 for me, another one, another 3 sequel to a second film in the franchise. This is a director dear to me, and this is one of his dear projects, Hellboy 3.
Okay.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Superhero movie, but it's a little bit different than most of them.
Definitely.
Especially in his hands. Say what you want about some of his films, especially recent ones, but he builds a world for you, and especially with his production team and the set pieces, the creations he comes up with, it's just always a fascinating world to be in. And you got a stellar cast with Ron Perlman as Hellboy himself,
who loves the role.
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. He wants to do it. I mean, but they just can't get the financing behind it. The studio won't 100% go with it. Which, I mean, I thought the second one was a good movie. The
second one was good. I really enjoyed the first one. I thought it had a little bit more heart to it.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, they're not bad films, especially, in the machine that is superhero films nowadays. But
right. And I don't even look at it as more of like, I don't even look at it as like a comic. I think it's definitely in a different realm than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although, even like Damon had V for Vendetta on superhero.
Right.
Our superhero list. And that is, to me, that's like a completely different take on it, which is awesome.
It's more of a source material,
less commercial,
Yeah, superhero. So I think that would be a cool thing to cap it off. I know they've been talking about it; they just need the financing, and I think that would be something that fans would really love to see. So that's my 4.
Aid, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
It's all you.
All right.
I'm still brainstorming a little bit.
All right. So I got number 5 right here. Big Trouble in Little China.
That was on my big list.
Yeah, I need to. When I was going into this list, I needed something that I wanted to explore the world a little bit more, or different characters. I want to see more of Jack Burton. I want to see more of Wang Chi. I need to see more of Egg Shen, and I hope that David Lopan would come back for another one. But this movie's endlessly rewatchable, quotable to this day. It's a under the radar John Carpenter flick.
It strays from the path of his normal kind of movies, you know.
Which it's so out there. It has magic. It has Chinatown. It's American too,
yeah.
Which makes it even cooler. And like, dude, I remember watching this movie. Like my old man still quotes that movie today. And that dude, if he doesn't fast forward through your movies, you must be like the greatest filmmaker to him.
Oh, really?
Because any boring part in a movie, like fast forward,
get rid of it.
Yeah, fast forward.
That's
So
great.
yeah, I never seen him fast forward Big Trouble in Little China. So to me, that movie, because of the world, you know, you have the backdrop of Chinatown. But then you have also that underworld that they go to, which is awesome, and then the monsters again that they have, and
magic,
the magic,
sorcery, stuff like that.
It's great, dude.
It's just a goofy world. It's Carpenter's favorite film out of all of his movies.
Yeah,
and he actually has been doing comic books of it. He's been writing them for some third publisher, kind of not like the big two.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's source material for another movie, and I know there was talk about it too. I mean, it's just. He hasn't made a lot of movies in the last couple of years.
Right. So. He's an inspirational filmmaker, you know.
He is.
He's a guy that to me, I think he plays a lot from his heart rather than what people want to see, you know.
He does what he wants to do.
Right.
I mean, that's the best thing about his movies is that you can tell that. Like, you can tell he's doing what he wants to do and not what a studio wants him to make.
Yeah. And I mean, that movie, like, even being in high school and being in foods class and just talking about, you know, with a couple of guys that have seen Big Trouble in Little China, just going to town. Like, Jack Burton is such a great character.
Oh, yeah. Kurt Russell in his prime.
Yeah, I mean, I know. It's like, dude, this dude's like a cowboy stuck in, you know, modern day.
Yeah.
You know, which is awesome. He's got great comedy. He's got great seriousness when he needs to. And then Wang, his sidekick, is a great character, too. Actually, I nicknamed my dog because they call him Wang Chi, so I called her Mag Chi.
Mag Chi, that's great.
Yeah, that was all because of Big Trouble in Little China.
Thank you.
So number 4, John Wick.
Oh, yep.
Dude, that world of that hitman, crime, the lights, you know, the lighting when he's in that club, that blue,
whole
those
scene.
Purples.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
it really was.
The backdrop to that music, that like electronica music going on too, it kind of reminded me like a Hitman version of Drive. Instead of just the getaway guy, he's like the hitman, you know. Yeah. So like almost set in the same kind of world. But yeah, I think John Wick was a huge surprise to a lot of people, and kind of reignited the love for Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
So I think if you pulled another John Wick, I don't think people would be hesitant to go see it. You know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it like you said, it was a surprise hit. People loved it. Like I like it was like an under the radar movie for me, and then people like just word of mouth. I finally eventually watched it. I liked it, and I guess one of my biggest gripes with the movie was that they give you this whole underground world, but they didn't give you enough of it.
Yeah,
and that's
well, the hotel part was an insanely original idea where it's sort of this neutral ground.
Yeah,
where you don't fuck with other hitmen and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I thought they created such a great world too. You know, just because. You know, people, it's tough. Like, this dude is fueled by, you know, his wife passes away.
Yep.
You know, he's out of the game. His wife passes away. She gives him this puppy, this basically this object that reminds him of his wife. The last living thing that connects him to his wife.
Right.
Which is extremely emotional in the beginning, which is awesome. And it really hooks you in. And then they kill the fucking dog.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, it's like, wow, it was the worst idea ever. And then they jack his car, right?
Yeah, and his car.
Yeah,
yep.
like
the two things the guy's holding on to,
yeah.
and you just take it from him.
And
like one of the world's best hitmen, you know.
I love those movies though that don't beat around the bush. Like, this guy's the best at this. Don't mess with him in this category because he'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
And the boss, the kid, the boss is like the main hitman's kid.
Yep.
Like, what did you just do? Like, you just awoke a sleeping giant. You're in trouble now, dude.
Yeah.
Like, well, we'll try to get rid of him, but because you're my son, like, I'm gonna try to protect you, but like, you've just unleashed hell.
Yeah,
and
it's good. It was a surprising film. It really was.
Yeah. So, but the only gripe I have at the end is that he took only one dog out of that whole pound. Like, why wouldn't he release all the dogs? But he just took one. But yeah, I think it was extremely, almost like a breath of fresh air to the summer lineup. What?
Yep.
2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, yeah, John Wick, man.
Do you know the Key and Peele movie, Keanu?
Yeah.
Was a knock on it, kind of.
And he
voices the cat in the movie.
Yeah, and actually he turned it down in the beginning.
Really?
And his assistant saw the trailer or something for it and was like, dude, you got to do this. Or like his agent, that's like, you got to do this.
It was a hilarious movie. It really was a lot of fun. But cool. That's you.
All right, AIDS.
You're up, man.
All right, so number 5, Gus Van Sant film. I kind of talked about it earlier. Good Will Hunting.
All right.
I mean, personally, I enjoyed it a lot. It's got a pretty star-studded cast, young Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and it kind of set it up at the end because, like, obviously, like, Will Hunting is at the end of the movie, like, going to like meet up with this girl and whatnot, but at the same time, like, him and like Ben Affleck in the movie still like have the rest of their lives to live. So I was pretty curious to like kind of see how that would all pan out, and I feel like if they did make a sequel like now, I feel like it would be like set up pretty nice to like kind of look into like later in their lives and whatnot, like 20 years later, like where they're at and whatnot. So
I see maybe if Will Hunting's attitude is like fully, you know, like that's something that's ingrained in him almost, you know what I mean? See how he's adapted over the years.
Right, and not only that, I mean, you have, what was that, the main structure to that movie, I think, was a decent plot and an incredible, you know, a lot of good dialogue in that film, and I think you could build off that, you know. I feel like that entity, that Good Will Hunting entity they would not beat around the bush of like, oh yeah, he found Minnie Driver's character and they live happily ever after. Like, you could be 20 years later and he could be saying like, oh, screw her, you know? And
exactly.
I think you got a lot of good characters in there just to see where they are at.
Yeah, even like Robin Williams, they could maybe even set it up like the intro like at his like funeral or something. He obviously
and like him dealing with I mean,
somebody close to him. Yeah, that would
correct.
Be
pretty, I think that would be
it could be interesting. Absolutely, they could call it Good Will Hunting 2 Hunting Season. No, Silent Bob Strikes Back, but they're filming the second Good Will Hunting. So great.
Yeah, like I mean, just thinking about it, I would definitely be curious to see like. Just because Will Hunting's obviously like this unparalleled genius, like where he's currently at in the world, what impact he's made on the world.
That's true, yeah.
And compare it to like even Ben Affleck's perspective, like where he's at. Are they still in touch?
Right.
Even like they could even do flashbacks like after it, like in that time, like after the movie like concluded, like Will Hunting and his relationship with Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, you have all that voice work from him and shit you could just put into it, and him having to try to find his way without his mentor anymore, you know? I mean, Will was sort of this I mean, I don't know, like this, you know, candle in the wind, if you will, and did whatever he wanted to, and then finally someone got a hold of him and was like, you know, kind of straightened him out a little bit, but now that dude's gone, maybe you have a downward spiral and someone else has to dig him out.
Right.
You know?
And then it would be a cool little play to see, you know, where he's, like you were saying, where he's gotten in life with his intellect.
Right.
And his friends they left back that told him that you have to get out of here for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
To see what, like, obviously they're going to play Ben Affleck more in this movie because they're super mega stars now.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a cool, interesting take. I'd see it.
Retainer. So good. All right, what's your 4?
Number 4, I have Avatar. I mean, the way they ended the movie, they set it up perfectly for a sequel. I don't know if they're planning on doing a sequel.
I think he signed up for 4 movies, I think.
Yep. There's no deadline or like no push forward on any of them specifically, so I think it's legit.
Yeah.
But they are planning up to 4 movies, but it's James Cameron, so it could take 20 years.
Right.
Right. Yeah. We'll be fucking.
Takes so long to make his movies.
Either way, I mean, if it's planned and whatnot, I would like to see a sequel of that because they set it up perfectly, like at the end, like
oh, absolutely,
with them turning into like an Avatar body, like for real.
Yeah,
right.
And going back on world building, like, I mean that's a fascinating. They were on what, one moon of like one giant like system, so like there's so much options there. There's
but
so
do they spin it in a different direction than just? Do they go back to, what is it, Jake Sully's character and his romps on Pandora, or do they move it to a larger picture? You know what I mean? A larger scope of different moons. It's just totally
I feel like that would be a better take on it. I mean, you can have like the same kind of characters in there, or like not even necessarily. You don't need the same characters per se, but like the what are the Avatar called?
The Na'vi.
Yeah.
Have them like that race in there. Maybe take it from a different perspective, from an actual like native Na'vi, like as your main protagonist in the film.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty interesting, going and exploring, you know what I mean?
It really pisses me off when people sit there and hate on Avatar and crap on it.
Yeah.
It's like, you telling me, dude, James Cameron is a fucking visionary.
So good. Like, I mean...
What? I don't get where it became cool to knock on this dude's writing. Like, he's done stuff that has...
That's a knock at you, Taylor, specifically.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Taylor hates him. Doesn't hate him, but he thinks he's one of these people.
Well, like, I don't get... Like, okay, dude, unobtainium is the worst fucking idea. Like, for a precious metal or gas or whatever it was, to call it unobtainium is stupid. It's beyond stupid. And dude, going back to Titanic, there's some corny dialogue. Like,
absolutely.
But dude, it's a love movie. Most of his movies revolve around two people coming together, like, the love and the...
Even, like, looking at something like True Lies, like, that's even undertones True Love. Like, I mean, it's...
Yeah, I mean, he's great. I think he's I love his writing. I loved Avatar. Yeah. I love the story. And it's a knockoff of Pocahontas and all this.
Ferngully and
Dancing
with Wolf.
Dude, who cares? Dude, Tarantino has said himself, dude, he jacks all of his stuff from different entities, different genres and everything.
Yeah, if you can have a legitimately 100% original idea nowadays in like film or in art in general, I'll give you $1 million.
Well, it'll probably shit on too. Yeah. It'll probably shit on if no one's ever seen it, and they don't know what the hell it is. They're gonna be like, "Whoa, this is stupid."
Okay, so you have something that's very similar. You have a storyline that's very similar to other storylines because movies have been happening for hundreds of years or 100 years. But you have something like these creatures and in a format that you've never seen before to that point. Like the 3D that was introduced in that movie, like the visuals introduced.
Yes.
It was groundbreaking. It literally changed the landscape, and that's why we have 3D. That's why we have 3D TVs in our homes now because of Avatar.
Yeah, that was the best 3D I've ever seen. And then on top of that, the way they went back and did Titanic in 3D was insane. Mm-hmm. He does not cut corners, and people get on him for doing the right thing. And I mean, he freaking went back into to Titanic when they re-released it and changed the star sequence in the sky because that's what it would have been like the night that the Titanic sank.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, keep shitting on him. You know what I mean? He's got more intellect than any of us when it comes to movies, dude.
You can't deny. Like, I mean, okay. Even if you have somebody has a personal preference or opinion on his movie, you can't deny the guy has the 2 highest-grossing films of all time. Like, like there you go. Like,
dude, I was 7 when I went to see Titanic in the theaters, and it blew me away. I had no idea what I was watching.
Hands down.
I had no idea what I was watching, and I was blown away. And even when people spoiled it, Jack dies. Like, he still had me like thinking, He's not gonna die. I love this guy. He is not gonna die.
He's my guy.
He's freaking frozen to death, and they let him go. Like, come on, I think he's great. Like, look, does he add things that he shouldn't add? Sure, but nobody's a perfect writer. I mean, everybody creams over Martin Scorsese. That guy steals a whole bunch of shit, dude. The Departed was a direct knockoff.
It was a knockoff from a Japanese film.
Anybody who's gonna shit on Cameron, you better shit on Scorsese and Tarantino.
Yeah.
Because they do the same shit.
Yeah.
You know, like give me a break on a lesser scale.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking at just like original content in general, like think about like just like pretty much like the dawn of like human existence. Like there have been like very few completely original thoughts, and everything is just like kind of a build up.
Right.
The build up off of a recycled idea. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
like so you can't. It's got to like go both ways. Like you can't diss like James Cameron or even like Scorsese for that matter, because like you're trying to come up with original content, but ultimately it's really difficult because so many things have already been thought of throughout time in general.
Yeah, it's about telling a good story. You know what I mean?
Telling a good story, especially and like if you're in like the action adventure genre, you're giving your viewer a ride. You're giving them emotions to feel, whether it be through the story, through the visuals, through what they're paying to see. And I think that movie, I mean, you can't argue with what that movie did.
No, so. I love James Cameron. He can come and hang out with me anytime he wants to.
Yeah.
I'll be willing to hang out with that dude. I'll be willing to talk Titanic with him because I love Titanic. I'm a guy. Titanic. I love Titanic. I don't care, dude. I had it on 3 different versions, man, and I worked my ass off to find that DVD copy, and then 2 months later he re-releases it. I was like, I don't care. I'm still happy, and I paid for it in the theater too.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a re-release, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but not only that. One more thought, because I feel like when they started re-releasing these old movies in 3D, like they did with Jurassic Park, I think he was a stepping stone. The way he did Titanic and made that 3D eye level water. I mean, everything was 3D. It was insane. Yeah. He went frame by frame, shot by shot, scene by scene, and broke it all down with what needs to be 3D and what doesn't. And I go in there skeptical, so I lift my glasses up when it's not 3D. And then I get pissed off. Yeah. But I couldn't even lift my glasses up because everything was 3D. There was something popping out of the screen, which is great.
I mean, it changed. Obviously, he had his hands in creating, you know, the 3D, you know, that the entire new scope of 3D. That was like literally him and his production crew that created that stuff.
Hard-ass worker, man.
And like even like you were saying with the Titanic thing, like so even if companies couldn't afford to use these specific 3D cameras, they could post-production it and still make it look good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's ridiculously intelligent.
You hear that, Shyamalan? You don't just have this cram 3D into The Last Airbender.
Cool. Was that your 5 then?
It was your 4, right?
Yeah, all right. I'm back up. All right, let me get my list back here. Come on, phone. All right, so number 3 for me, back-to-back superhero films, but it's not, you know. This one I think fits in kind of that realm of like not straightforward superhero. You know, you wouldn't technically know, it's more sci-fi. Dredd 2. The recent update Dredd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with Carl Urban.
Oh
man,
dude! You remember my name on Voxer? When me, you, and Twan were on it. What? Carl Urban, dude.
It was just Carl Urban.
Yeah, it was just Carl Urban. Dude, with a K.
Yeah, Carl Urban is just... He's such a great actor. He's so like, I feel like he's underestimated. Like,
I was so pissed at Ghost Ship when he got killed.
Oh, right? Yeah. And, like... I mean, even going back to Lord of the Rings, like, his Eomer character was, like, he was small, but, like, I loved him. I was like, oh, man, that guy has so much charisma, you know? I feel like that was, like, the first movie I, like, remember him in.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they give him the lead role in this movie, which is technically a remake from the Judge Dredd Sylvester Stallone movie in the 90s, but that has, like, so little to do with the source material.
It blew it out of the water, I heard.
You haven't seen this one?
I haven't seen either of them. Actually, no, I take that back. I've seen parts of the Stallone one.
Yeah.
But the Stallone one was so stupid that I couldn't watch it.
It's just campy. It's just really honestly putting Stallone in an action film and taking the name of Judge Dredd. There's a lot in that movie that didn't actually have to do with the source material. This movie is the first Dredd is one of the most accurate portrayals of a comic book movie. I mean, honestly, other than Deadpool that I can think of, from translating to like his portrayal of Dredd, the actual judge, never takes his mask off. That's like a legit thing in the comic series. He's never done. I mean, and they do so much. I feel like you would really like this movie, this remake.
I love Karl Urban, and I've heard so much buildup of that recently. Yeah. That I think I would have to, definitely have to check it out.
They give you a fantastic villain in Lena Headey. She's as the mother, I think her name is, or something.
Okay.
And she's just she really is a good villain. I mean, it's more of a like enclosed movie. They get enclosed in this building, and it's like an escape thing. They have to build their way out. It's almost like the Raid kind of.
Oh yeah.
But it was so well done. It's got so many fans backing it. It's just that it didn't make that much money. It really didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I heard some good traction on possible. I think Karl Urban himself tweeted or sent something out saying like an encryptive Dredd possibility for a next movie, and I think that would be really cool because Karl Urban's the man. He's going to be in the next. He's going to be in a Thor 3.
Nice. I haven't watched 2. I didn't watch 2. I hated number 1. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go see
just for Karl Urban. But okay.
But I'm just pissed that Thor doesn't wear that helmet. But
I know, right? Well, no, I agree. Yeah. That's like a mainstay in his comics. But it's because it messes with Chris Hemsworth's beautiful locks.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. I actually had this originally as my number 1. I just switched it right before we started. A sequel to District 9.
I did look down at my movie shelf and saw it, and I was like,
damn. They left us open. They left us open at the end of the movie. Wickus is completely a prawn now.
Yeah.
But Christopher Johnson was the prawn's name that he gave to the other one.
Oh yeah.
He gave the actual prawn's name is Christopher Johnson. He was leaving, saying, "I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna bring help. I'm gonna bring everybody."
Yeah.
And that's how they ended the movie essentially.
Yeah.
And I know they talked about going back to it. I mean, just this movie in whole District 9 was such a surprising hit of a movie.
Yeah, just like Dredd.
Yeah, really.
Well, I mean, John Wick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, it. Going all the way back to the production of the film, it was originally a Peter Jackson. The money for this movie was supposed to be for Peter Jackson and the Halo movie that they were going to make.
Oh yeah.
Fell through. So instead, he brought in Neil Blomkamp to do this movie that he'd already made a short. That was pretty much like a pre-District 9 thing.
Yeah.
And then they made the full production of it. I mean, and just like the budget on this movie was so small compared to most, action sci-fi films. It took an approach that I've never seen in a movie like this before, where it felt real. Like it was, that first person. It felt like a documentary in the beginning.
Right, yeah.
Beautiful. And the fact that this movie got nominated for Best Picture at that year's Oscars was, it was so impressive a movie, and I really would love, his follow-ups like Elysium and Chappie, they feel kind of like the same realm as District 9, but I don't think I don't think they touch them.
Well, I here again is Blomkamp when he keeps churning out. I love District 9, Elysium. I thought it was watchable.
It was watchable, absolutely.
And then Chappie, I think is great, and so many people shit on Chappie.
I know. I don't get it.
They don't like the rappers in there. They don't need to be in there. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like.
He's like they're characters in their own right. Like they are very important.
The more I think about it, the more I dislike the fact that they're promoting themselves as and I didn't understand that because I never heard of them before.
Oh my god, did you go and listen to them afterwards?
Yeah.
Dyer Antwood.
Oh yeah. My brother Joe, he can attest to that. They got some weird
weird
music.
people.
But I think they capture that South African vibe to me, and I hate. If we have any South Africans listening to this, I'm sorry if I just, I don't know.
Yeah, if that
shit
was
on your namesake because
you just said Dyer Antwood. It was like us.
But even in District 9, the way they talk, just the talking, and then you can think of like Blood Diamond and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
The way they, I love that lingo. I love the way they articulate their words and everything. So. It's fun for me to watch, but I thought Chappie and District 9 had a lot of heart to it.
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of humanism and everything that went with it.
And especially in like District 9, well, really both films, there's a lot of like correlations to current events in their home. You know what I mean? In South Africa, like
apartheid and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very I mean, it jumps through the boundaries of actual just sci-fi. I mean,
Blomkamp has a lot to say on the differences of races or people and stuff like that. The way they call them prawns and stuff like that.
I mean, even in Elysium they do that too. You have the bottom of the barrel, the people who have to stay on Earth, and all the good rich people get to go up to Elysium. So I mean,
good societal films. I'd say. I love his work. I love the fact that people hate it too, because I'm so willing to back this guy up, and it actually builds up my appreciation for his movies too.
I'm down with him, and hopefully, I mean, I was kind of back and forth with this and like the not 100% released his Alien sequel.
Oh yeah.
Alien 5, because he's attached to it, but they're not like pushing it forward as much because they want to do Prometheus 2 first. But I mean, I would be down with both.
Right.
So that's my 2.
Okay, number 3 for me was tough because I think it could be a number 1, but as for a standalone, another kind of shocking film for me, I had to put it down a little bit because I'm not 100% sure if I want to see a sequel or not, but I think it could warrant one, and that's Zombieland.
Oh, yeah.
I think that movie right there it's short and sweet. It ties the package up, nice bow tie, and just ships it out. It doesn't sit there and dick around with the property, and the way they incorporated Bill Murray in there is hilarious.
One of the best cameos in remembrance.
Yeah, just the way it's almost like this survival film, and it's telling you how to survive the zombie apocalypse. It's hilarious, and I think it's one of my favorite zombie movies. It does a great job with the zombies themselves and the comedy that it puts in there,
absolutely.
which I didn't think I'd get into because I'm not a huge comedy fan, but Woody Harrelson's hilarious.
Oh my god, this is like really a refreshing Woody Harrelson revival almost. Like you see him in a major movie and like he's kicking ass. Like he's the coolest character in this movie.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious. And then when you get his twist on his character is that he didn't just lose his dog, he lost his kid.
Yep.
And that scene where he's in Bill Murray's mansion shooting the vases and stuff. And he's got Hank Williams Sr. on there playing, and I was like, oh, dude, this is my guy, dude. This is another guy I would just love to chill with, is Woody Harrelson.
Oh, absolutely.
But, yeah, and then what the hell is that guy's name?
Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah, Eisenberg, yeah. Which, he's the kind of person that would annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But I love his movies, dude.
He does.
I can't believe... He's like Michael Cera.
Thank you. I was just literally going to say, he's like a better, a
well-rounded Michael Cera,
It's like Goonier.
Yeah.
I literally just had that conversation with Taylor the other day. He's like Michael Cera to me. I'm like, but his movies are like 10 times better than Michael Cera.
Oh, yeah. He's a much better actor, but he really hones it in. He's good. I think... Emma Stone's good, and then that girl that played Bo in Signs. I can't remember her name. But I thought she came out of nowhere, but it's
for
quick,
sure.
dude. That movie moves so fast, and it just has such. I love the little ticks that it gives on the characters. The dude just wants a freaking Twinkie.
Yeah.
All he can find is the snowballs. Then you have Eisenberg like, I love snowballs, just eating them, and it's like, oh my god, I love that. It's hilarious.
It's very good. Like, I mean, because like on the surface, that's all you think this character cares about. Like the guy's like on a mission to find Twinkies in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And then you kind of dive more into him, but still like that's perfect. That's great comedy.
No, yeah, I think it's really well written. The pacing is excellent. I love Zombieland.
They attempted to do like a series on it.
They did a TV show. Didn't they?
I think so, but it failed right away.
Well, dude, I don't want to watch an episodic. Take on these guys. I just want to see another movie. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
And look, it gets cheesy in the end when they go to Pacific Playland. Yeah. But when they're on that ride and it's going up and down, like that was kind of stupid. But I don't know. I really enjoyed
Abigail Breslin.
Yeah, that's it. That way, good pull, man.
I didn't even have to look it up.
That's my Zombieland's my 3. Now number 2, which is I was definitely thinking it was going to be on your list, and it might not be. But we'll see. I went with John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah. Okay, I left it off only because it's been so long, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what kind of sequel would, other than... We couldn't do a direct sequel because the actors are too old. like a direct, because that's, I mean, they obviously leave you hanging,
right?
So we couldn't do what happened right afterwards. I mean, CGI world, we probably could get something out of it.
Well, what they did with Robert Downey Jr. in that new Captain America movie,
wasn't that impressive?
It was insane.
Yeah,
did you see that, Abe?
Civil War.
Yeah,
No, I haven't.
Oh man, there's a scene where
they do flashback with Robert Downey Jr. He looks like he's
they de-age him, and it's insane. Like you can't even tell it's CGI, and like. It's very impressive. So yeah, I guess in the realm of something like that, now that's possible. I could see it. It just they tried with that prequel, and
yeah, that's the thing. The prequel part, and I had to remember because I didn't watch it. It was horrible. It was a prequel, and they named it the same damn title of the other one that they.
Because it was like a half and half. Like I was saying, it was a prequel. But it was a reboot too.
Yeah. So I want to see Kurt Russell again. I want to see him back at it. I want to see him doing his thing, and I understand it would be really tough, and there's a lot of films on this that I think would be tough. I'll get into it when we go over honorable mentions, but to me, I think the thing is, it's an entity I want to explore, and you could do something where, maybe he makes it out, and you go find him X amount of years down the line, and he's got to be called back up because there's something going on, similar to what he's dealt with before. But yeah, I said the thing.
I think it would be, I mean, to explore the character would be great, but I think a fresh reboot would be better almost. You know what I mean? Because then we could, I mean, it doesn't even have to take place in Antarctica anymore. Honestly, that's just where the thing happened to fall.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we could go, it could be like a reboot sequel because we can go and say, well, guess what? It escaped. They never killed it. And it went on and...
And I think if you follow the actual thing as the entity that you're following, maybe you don't even need Kurt Russell. Maybe you just you mention him, going through the film. Well, this happened in Antarctica, and so survived or died. Whatever it was.
You can I mean, in a soft reboot, you can still mention, hey, that stuff happened in this world, but guess what? They didn't kill it, and this is what's happening now, and it's bigger and badder.
Right.
It's almost like Lost World, you take the T-Rex off the island, you put it on mainland, see what happens.
Yeah. That'd be
it'd be interesting.
I hope that movie comes up in Film sometime.
Lost World?
Yeah.
Are you not a big fan of it?
I didn't dislike it. I didn't like it either, though. Yeah. I mean, I could pop it in right now and watch it.
Yeah,
it wouldn't
for sure.
bother me. It wouldn't bother me at all.
Hey, that RV scene was great. I love that.
Oh my god, yes. When she's on that glass and it's breaking.
That's intense.
Yeah. The whole T-Rex and bringing them back, that kind of stuff is...
It doesn't matter. I agree. I just...
But yeah, so that was my 2. AIDS, your 3.
My 3, I feel like this is a film where they kind of left it off with a lot of potential. I Am Legend.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, obviously Will Smith dies, but I feel like obviously he's pretty hard to replace, but they could maybe put another African American actor in there, like Denzel or something, because they kind of left it off.
Oh yeah, or Idris Elba's a big name.
Idris Elba's great right now.
Right.
Shere Khan the Tiger and the lead in that Netflix original movie.
Beast No Nation.
Yeah. Great movie.
And he's gonna be the lead of the Dark Towers, Stephen King.
Movie.
He's gonna be the main character of that.
Yeah.
So, sorry, off topic.
That's all good. But nonetheless, I do feel like that there's a lot of potential left off because obviously they came up with a cure for the disease for everyone turning into zombies and whatnot. But then what goes from there? The human race just miraculously is cured and whatnot, and then they just live happily ever after. It's obviously it's not that easy. I feel like there's more of a story that they could build off of that. And one thing I really liked about it, it's not you're just typical knockoff zombie movie, because the zombies are completely different. They're extremely strong. They're basically they're given superpowers, but at the same time they're obviously not humans anymore. So I feel like it could be a really cool action-packed film if they were to reboot that and actually fight the zombies and whatnot. And
right, for sure. I mean, it's another world building thing. I mean, you're in such a small amount of space in this giant epidemic that took over essentially the whole world, and you want to see it more. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
That's it's always great. It's always good to explore that. I mean, there's more humans. There's an alternate ending.
Yeah.
Where he survives.
He lives. Yeah.
And actually, almost like it almost works too. It really does. But
to me, I'm not into the big Hollywood ending and all that. But I think from what Will Smith's character endured throughout that film, losing his best friend and finding new people and all that stuff, to me, I think he served a larger purpose than to just blow up at the end.
Right.
To be honest,
absolutely.
I think they chose the wrong ending.
Yeah, I think like that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, yeah, it's climactic. It's I mean, it comes full circle. I guess he's by himself, but that one, the ending where he survived, I thought it worked better. Honestly, like
I liked it a lot more.
It makes more sense. Like
give
them a cure, especially. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I read the original book a little bit. I didn't finish it, but I read it in high school, and it's so different.
Yeah,
like the creatures are supposed to be vampires.
Yeah, well, they named them some weird thing like something oids or something.
Yeah, exactly. And they're supposed to like gain intellect, like they become their own society.
Right, because that's what they make it seem. Because he grabs the matriarch almost, the lead woman or the lead vampire's wife or love interest, and that's why he's going after him.
Right.
And they did have some.
They did have
some knowledge with when he reset the trap that he set on those creatures.
That would be cool though. Like if there were to be a sequel, it'd be like humans versus like
these creatures.
These weird creatures like eventually gaining intellect and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously it's like dark versus light. Like the creatures like can't physically like go into sunlight.
Right, exactly.
So it's just like strategic warfare almost.
Right. It would be really interesting, especially if they play on the fact that they gain, this intellect, this sentience. They would be a formidable threat. You know what I mean? Like they have intelligence on their side.
Mm-hmm.
It would be great. I mean, it would be unlike any kind of trope that those kind of movies do in general. And then in a second movie, they can actually make them have great CGI instead of shitty I Am Legend CGI. Man, that was like one of the biggest like pullaways from that movie for me is like the CGI on those. Like they could have used humans. Well, why did they not just use regular people?
Yeah, that's what I didn't like.
I was like, it bummed me out because it was like it was a really good movie. Like it was heartfelt. Will Smith's performance was solid, and it's just, man, that CGI killed me.
Yeah, the CGI was kind of annoying. They're called Dark Seekers, I guess.
Dark Seekers, there
you
go.
They, I think there was more to do. And honestly, dude, I felt like, to me, I would have enjoyed it more if that woman and that boy didn't show up.
Yeah.
I would have liked it better if he was just alone, and he had to find,
Yeah.
I think it was better, because it kind of took away from the scene where he tries to commit suicide, and after the dog dies, spoiler, the movie's old though, so I mean,
2006.
Yeah, I still remember I still remember creaming over the trailer though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like I think that I think those two people were just kind of added in there, and then the fact that Will Smith doesn't make it and they do, it's like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
definitely pointless for them to be there. I mean, really. Yeah. There's when like in the beginning of the movie when he's walking through New York, there's a billboard with
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Then just like years later they actually do it. But cool. All right, is that 3 then for you?
Yeah, that was 3.
Awesome.
My number 2, I'm kind of taking a similar path to Good Will Hunting as far as like curiosity. Just like looking forward, I would choose The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, I'm just a big fan of that movie with the cast and whatnot. Jeff Bridges, John Goodman playing Walter and whatnot.
Oh.
So I love Walter. I would love to see like, just like a fast forward into the future of like what they're still doing. Like, are they still just like a bunch of bums like playing league bowling and whatnot?
Yeah.
Like when Walter pulls a gun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're live!
Hold on, Market Zero.
I'm sorry, Smokey, you were over the line.
So great. Like, honestly...
This isn't Nam. This has rules.
It's like one of the best written characters in my opinion. I love Walter in that movie, and the combo of the dude and Walter. It's just like it's one of those duos that you'd want it. You want
it's a real relationship too.
Yeah,
you know? you have that one friend or those couple friends where the way you can tell, hey, fuck you, piss off, get away from me, and then you're not butthurt about it, you know what I mean? You have those friends that are that close where it's like, well, I can see you don't want cheering up, dude, so we're gonna go get a lane. Come on, Donnie.
Yeah. I feel like it would just be like a very easy, or maybe not easy sequel to make, but like you guys are saying, it's like the relationship between those two guys and the situations and shenanigans that they put themselves through, because the whole movie you're just going like, what the hell are they like? What are they getting like involved in? And you're just like, this is hilarious. So like I just
over
love,
a rug,
like,
mistaken identity in a rug,
right?
Yeah.
So it's more like, I mean, for me, just based off of like love of the movie, I'd like to see another one, but
Annie knocked up.
Yeah, she tried having his kids, so
so she's gonna have a little Lebowski.
Right. There's another like spin-off you can go off of too.
Have a little dude.
There's a great line that I read about or listened to, like a special feature on the movie, and I guess when Walter, John Goodman says, "The world does not stop and start at your convenience, you miserable piece of shit." He was actually talking to the Coen brothers.
Was he?
Yeah, because they wanted to cut the scene, and that's what he had said to them because he was so pissed off that they cut. And so that they left it in there.
That's
but that was
great.
that was like John Goodman actually pissed off.
Dude, John Goodman's freaking amazing.
Oh, he's a great dude. Another guy I'd like to chill with.
Yeah, did you see 10 Cloverfield Lane yet?
No, not yet. I didn't get to see it in the theater.
The guy still has it. Like, I mean, he's another underrated actor. Like he can pull out those roles. And then maybe they can get like a new Donnie too, like another
which
for
is
him to berate.
Yeah.
So that would be fun.
For some reason, I always think of Paul Dano. I think he would just fit so well. It's like this weird ass guy.
That's so weird. It felt like deja vu. I think I just saw him on IMDb. Like Paul Dano's face was right there.
No, Paul Dano. You were looking at Meek's. Yeah. Meek's Cutoff.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, it's recent.
All right, number one. Or what were you gonna say, AIDS?
Who's the narrator in The Big Lebowski?
Sam Elliott.
Or Sam Elliott, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I loved his role as well.
Bastard got me.
Bastard.
It's like such a good way to start and end a film with his narration.
Beef.
I feel like.
It's what's for dinner.
So, yeah, great. Oh, all right, me?
Number one. Die Nummer Eins.
All right. It's a wild card choice for me. But I just want, more so than anything, I want to revisit this world more than any of the other ones. And that would be a third Tron film. Now, I don't know what, Tron Legacy isn't the greatest film, but some of the visuals next to, because that came out pretty soon after Avatar, right? And next to Avatar, it's the best CGI or best 3D I've ever seen in a film.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's so cool, unique. They take from the original, but they expand on it so much. I love the original growing up too, but they expand on it so much, and they gave us a pretty straightforward story. But to see them, this might even be in the realm of it couldn't even be a reboot because it has to be grounded in Tron and Jeff Bridges' original character anyways because they created it. But just to go back to this world would be so cool. Like, and there's so many elements in Tron Legacy that I feel should carry over. Like, Daft Punk's soundtrack is the score in the whole film is so fantastic. It really helps build that world for you. And I would love to see them just explore more of it, like to dive more into it, because what they gave us on the surface was fun and entertaining, in Legacy. And if you can get some real stellar writers in there to jack it up, give us something really cool, I think like maybe even have the whole world take place, because half of Legacy and half of the original Tron were out in the real world. Just have the whole movie take place in the grid, and just jack it up. Get some really good, get some real good CGI, real good 3D. Have a fun, blockbuster film there, really, or summer film. Yeah.
I never got into Tron or Tron. Like it's not my cup of tea.
No, for sure.
Not that I don't think that it would be good, because Tron Legacy was one of those films that happened quite a while after. Because didn't the first Tron happen in the 70s?
Yeah, the late 70s.
Yeah,
and this one came out in like 2011 or something.
Yeah,
2010.
I mean, it's definitely there, and I don't mind Garrett Hedlund.
Yeah, Garrett Hedlund was. I think he's. Yeah. Did you see Pan?
No, I didn't. No, yeah. But I like him. I love him in Four Brothers.
Four Brothers. Yeah.
He's in a movie with I think it's Kevin Bacon, and Kevin Bacon's
Death Sentence.
Yeah.
So good. That's an underrated movie.
Yeah, I think he's in that.
He is. He's the main antagonist. He's got the bald head though.
Yeah. I think Garrett Hedlund's a great actor.
He's good, and I don't know. It's just one of those worlds that I'm like, man, when they first announced there was gonna be a Tron 3, I'm like, I got jacked. I'm like, this is cool. Like, I mean, this is a franchise they can make. Disney can make and get it going. Outside of the realm of anything that they got going, that's already Disney stuff and Marvel stuff. And they axed it already, so pretty bummed. But yeah, that's just one of those ones that I'm more excited about.
Sweet. One that I actually recently picked up, and I had to watch it again because I didn't watch it since I was in probably 8th grade, I think, or 7th grade, one of the two. And absolutely loved it, is Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. And the reason why I say this, and the big part of it, is that they were going to make it a series, because it was based on a book, and the book had numerous series in it. I can't tell you exactly what the books were about, if they still followed Russell Crowe and his crew, or if it was different storylines based around the world. But either way, I want to see that story told again by Peter Weir and hopefully his crew doing it. But I would love to see Russell Crowe back. But to make a film that is set on the ocean, probably 98% of the time, is, with the only exception being the Galapagos Islands, it's so smart in the realm that it was set, the set, and the way they added different things in, like all the stuff with Darwin and all this amazing crap about this captain being the best captain that they've ever seen, Lucky Jack, and him being outsmarted at his own game, and then him trying to go back and trying to sort of reconcile his loss to this French captain, which it leaves it open, because at the end, you guys haven't seen it, but
it's all good. You can.
So what happens at the end is he finally outsmarts the French ship and captures the ship, and they're gonna bring it back to England. Well, they realize that the captain that they assumed was dead, because the French doctor had told them, well, he's dead, but he wanted me to give you his sword. So that ego comes back for Russell Crowe, and he's on his ship, and then it's like, Paul Bettany has to tell him, like, well, what do you mean the captain was dead? It says in the log right here, that he's still alive. And so we know that the doctor was actually the captain. So
that's
the English have that ship, but how are they going to get away? Are they going to make it to England? Is Russell Crowe's ship going to chase it down in time?
They left. That's how they left you.
They left it open.
Oh man!
Turn around. We got to go after this ship. So, which is amazing, because you have this back and forth with this French ship and this English ship, and you have this captain that's he's always won his battles, and he's been able to outsmart. That's the reason why he has this this massive following, is that he's really successful at what he does. And then next thing you know, this ship comes out of nowhere and starts chasing them down and getting the best of them. And then slowly Russell Crowe kind of gets back at them. And then you think at the end, obviously, well, there it is. Russell Crowe is still the best. But really, is he? Because now you have almost like this LeBron James, Steph Curry thing going on, where LeBron is the king of the world. Well, here's this kid that can shoot threes. sneaking up on him, and now he's getting the unanimous MVP of the NBA. Just thought I'd throw that in there. But you know what I mean? I just think I think there's so much more to explore, and aside from Pirates of the Caribbean, I mean, I don't really know of a movie that's based on an old ships from the 1800s and has to do with the open sea and does that well. So
cool.
Yeah, Master and Commander.
There you go. You're up.
AIDS.
Wait, we're doing number ones?
Yeah.
Number ones.
All right, my number one is Inception.
Ooh, he was on my list.
Yes, it was.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of potential for more. I mean, I don't know. It's a mind trip. Like, the ending specifically got me, like, with the... What was it?
The spinning top?
Yeah, the spinning top, like, it, like, kind of falters at the end, but then, like, the movie ends, so you don't know if it's, like,
was it a
reality
dream
or a dream.
Yeah.
It's like...
I know that's the debate. That's the beauty of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean...
It's like you don't know, and they're like, I want to know. Like...
Yeah, it's definitely... I mean, going back to unique, original stuff, I mean, it has a lot of original, like, ideas placed together, or a lot of cool ideas, you know, combined together to give you something that hasn't really been done a lot in film. So, it's definitely a unique idea to go back to. It's something cool. Technically, all the actors are in a contract for a sequel if there ever was one.
Right.
For some reason, they signed more than one movie picture deal. So, it's there. The possibility is there. Hey, the money's there because it made tons.
Yeah.
And it's got such a big following behind it. Yeah, I mean, I could see something going on. Maybe even not even going in the perspectives of Hobbs, Leo's character. But, I mean, there's other, you know, people who can go into the dreamscapes. There's other people that do this in this world. So, get some other perspectives, you know what I mean? Would be cool. And I don't know, it would be tough, too, because you don't want, especially, I know, like, Nolan wouldn't want to go back to a movie if it wasn't going to be at least different enough from its original, because
to not make it completely redundant.
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
Oh, we're just gonna keep going inside these.
Yeah,
dreams
some other person. We're
over.
gonna you know, secretly go into some other guy's dreams and get
It's like,
his
what, are
hidden
we in
information.
limbo, or are we in like dream inside of dream inside of dreams? Just
Right,
like, keeps
for
going,
sure.
Like...
So it's definitely definitely on my list too. So it's a cool idea.
Yeah, I just have one question. Was it a dream at the end or not?
I think so.
Do we know?
We don't. Well, nobody knows. That's the discussion.
Because the top wobbles, and if the top were to fall, that's when you know like it's not a dream.
Yeah,
it's real.
But the DiCaprio, remember what the kids say when they come in?
That's my problem. What did they say?
Well, they said something about building a sandcastle, right?
Yeah.
And in the
Isn't
dream,
that what his wife says?
something like that, or just where the house is in comparison to what they're saying, like. Let's go build a sandcat, and the house in the dream is not. Isn't it by like water or something?
I think that it is a dream because Nolan's a pretty particular filmmaker, and the scene from when he leaves his kids in real life is the exact scene where he comes back to. They're in the same place, doing the same things. I think they're wearing even the same clothes.
Yeah.
That he remembers leaving them with. And I don't know, you know, that's kind of like...
It's what these great directors do, though, you know? Penny Marshall, why are we still arguing about whether or not Dottie Hinson dropped the ball on A League of Their Own, or did she... Or did she just get knocked over, you know? Or the same, like, Minority Report. Here's one that I never even thought about was, is Tom Cruise asleep after he gets his eyes removed and the rest of the movie a dream for him? Like, I've never even heard of that before, but listening to a different Top 10 show, they had mentioned that, and I was like, I didn't even think of that. I gotta go back and watch that movie now.
See, that's good. Like, that's great filmmaking. Like, I would love to do that. Like, you have to, like, there's a point, and, like, obviously you can have the narrative on the surface, but you can have these little elements throughout that suggest otherwise, you know what I mean? That's great, because
that's why these films don't get forgotten, you know? You keep remembering them because of, you know, their ambiguous endings sometimes. I mean, obviously there's other reasons to remember movies,
but if it keeps a discussion, especially like the Inception ending, like if it's still a talked about discussion to this day. You know, 5 some years after the movie came out.
Yeah.
That's just great filmmaking.
Right.
There.
Like I just remember specifically like when the movie came out. I didn't see it like within the first month that it came out, and I just like hear all these people, like all my friends raving about it on like
which is
Twitter
nuts
and
because
Facebook.
it's definitely a movie for the general public too. It's not
Right.
just a niche audience, and
No.
everybody really latched onto it and creamed over it.
Right, and what we were
Yeah.
talking about earlier about like original content, obviously like it's really tough to come up with original content, but I feel like this like just the content specifically for this movie is very unique, and
Yes.
you could definitely build off of it with
Absolutely.
alternative perspectives and different characters and whatnot. Whether it be, I mean, obviously I would put DiCaprio in the discussion because everything he does is
It's gold.
pretty much gold. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
I don't even have to really list off
Well,
his
it's true.
credentials
You
and
can't,
whatnot.
you
what
can't
he's
think.
done.
I can't think of a movie in the last while that I haven't liked of his.
Yeah,
So
like
awesome.
he finally won his first Oscar with The Revenant. Like,
Yeah.
good on him. Like,
Definitely. Yeah. He still should have won it for Jack Dawson, but
Oh,
Yeah.
he wasn't even nominated for Jack Dawson.
no, I know. I'm just joking.
Oh,
about
I was
that.
gonna say.
I
should've
still
won it
love
for-
Leo. He could come chill with us too.
Oh man, yeah.
Any of you guys want to go over 6 through 10 quick? Just run down.
Yeah.
your list?
Here, I'll go first. That was the first one. So 6, I had Clerks 3.
All right.
7 would be Kill Bill 3. It was a talked about movie.
The Bride, they were saying it's
Yeah.
going to be or whatever.
Well, and they wanted to do I forget what her name is, but the black girl in the beginning of the movie, totally spacing. Vivica A. Fox's character.
Yeah.
They were talking about potentially going on her kid. Remember, because tells her,
That'd be sweet.
"You want to come and get me some, when you're growing up, when you know what's going on, come and get me." Inception was 8. Flash Gordon 9. You ever seen the original Flash Gordon?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell
Dude,
no.
it's so cheesy, it's so great, but they leave you with a cliffhanger. Like literally a question mark and then some new villain maniacally laughing at the end of the movie. That's how they leave you. And then my 10 would be Wreck-It Ralph. I think
I actually thought about that one too.
any of the Disney movies, I think this would be a fantastic one to explore.
Yeah.
There's so much more video game stuff they can do out of there. Some cool
Oh, yeah.
cameos, some cool team ups. So that's mine.
6, I had Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
that'd
you
be
could
great.
you could do it. I want more of that world,
Yeah.
not on a sound set. So I want on location
Yep.
shooting. That would be incredible. I put Superbad down as
Ooh.
well. I thought maybe
Revisit the kids.
yeah, I would want to see them partying in college or something like that.
That's fair.
Unbreakable was 8.
Yep.
And the reason why it was so low is because I don't know if I really truly want a
Exactly.
sequel.
That's why I didn't throw it on my list because I wasn't 100%. I feel like it's
The rest of them are like this. 9 is The Goonies, which
Yep.
I don't even know how they would do that, but I would just die for another adventure
It'd
with
be
them.
like a soft reboot. I mean, they could
Yeah.
have like their kids in the roles
Yeah.
or something.
And then 10 was Inception.
Yep.
AIDS is number 1.
Cool.
AIDS, you got anything for 6 through 10? Or?
yeah, I just conjured up some right now. Actually.
Conjuring 3.
Yeah.
Number 6, I have Coming to America.
All right.
Hey, yeah.
Eddie Murphy movie. I feel like, I don't know, I've had a similar theme as far as just like me being like a fan of movies, like wanting to like know more. I feel like, I don't know, a lot of us always wonder like
Oh yeah.
what
especially
happens after like
the credits
after
roll.
the actual movie, after the credits and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's just based off of fandom. and
We go.
whatnot.
Hey, it could revive Eddie's career.
Oh shit, we need more Eddie in
Yeah,
my
we
I need
do.
more Eddie in my
Right,
life.
man. And like, I don't know, I think that would be cool.
For sure.
Number 7, I thought I'd throw an anime film in there as well, Spirited Away.
Oh, I was thinking about that, dude. I got that nice picture right there from
Right.
Damon DZ Gumbert. Hope he made it to Cincinnati okay.
Pimping the airwaves over there.
Yep, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, dude, one of my favorite Miyazaki films.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite anime movies I've ever seen. I saw it for the first time when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah, you got to put a different character in there though. You can't have Chihiro anymore because she sort of learned her arc and her story is done with. So.
Right, I just like the creativity of anime in general, and
Yeah.
specifically like with this storyline and just like the world that she like came into. Like,
I wanted to put a sequel for any of the Studio Ghibli films, and
Yep.
I couldn't find one that I that I could even bear having a
Nausicaa on the
sequel.
Valley of the Wind is really fucking good. Like,
Yeah, and then or even like Kiki's Delivery Service, which I think is a little bit like you could probably spin a sequel, or like Porco Rosso or something to that kind. But
For
yeah,
sure.
But yeah, anyway, number 8, I have Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a fun movie. It's a classic. Like, you could definitely go off of it a little more.
Definitely.
Number 9, good old Grandma's Boy.
Oh man, I love that movie.
It's so funny.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
so
just,
great.
It's just
Totally.
playful. It's funny. It's another classic. And then number 10, Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner was on an honorable mention of mine, but
It's
It
got
sounds
the
like-
it's got the green light
Yeah.
for a second movie. It's
Yeah, it
it's
sounds
almost
like it's coming.
almost 100%. So
All
and I
right.
think they're gonna Denis Villeneuve or whatever the hell his name is gonna be directing it.
who's that? I don't know.
Dennis Villeneuve.
Oh yeah, that guy. We were talking
Like,
about him the other, like
Prisoners,
Yep, he's just doing a bunch of.
Sicario and
Hey, that's great. I'm totally down with him taking
Yeah.
that movie. I mean, who's his cinematographer? Because whoever he has.
Did he do Enemy too?
Yeah, he
Well,
did,
he had
yeah.
Deakins. Deakins was a cinematographer on Sicario.
Okay.
Enemy, I'm not sure, and Prisoners was Deakins
Prisoners-
as well.
Okay, yeah, because Prisoners looked fantastic, and that
Yeah.
color, like the color palette that
Yeah.
they used, would be perfect
Oh,
for
yeah.
for a Blade Runner movie.
Yeah. All right, let's get this top 10 going. I think because it's so subjective, we just need to go ones. To be honest with you,
Inception was the only one that
Inception
was on all three of our lists.
Right.
was the only one on there, so looks like we're gonna have to go with
Number
Inception for one.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh shit, that's 3. 2, I had Master and Command. What did you have?
My Tron, but we've never even seen each other's movies.
Okay. What do you want to do? We gotta do something
You
here.
get the block back?
Yeah, get the block. All right. What do you want? Georgia or non-Georgia?
Non-Georgia.
All right. Non-Georgia.
Hey!
All right. We'll take Tron.
Yeah, all right.
I'll just put the movie that needs the sequel. So do you want me to put Tron 2?
Yeah, it would be technically
Tron Legacy.
3. Or,
Well, I know, I mean,
so
like,
Tron Legacy would
Tron
be the
Legacy
sequel.
needs the sequel.
Yeah.
3, Master and Commander. All right, now 4. This is open.
I got District 9 sequel.
I can see District. What about you?
What was my 4?
No, 3
2.
or 2.
Or
My
two
2 was
or
Big
three.
Lebowski, and my 3 was I Am Legend.
Okay.
Okay. You had. I'm sorry, I forgot
District
already.
9 and Dread 2 would be my 2 and 3.
I think District 9's pretty good.
What's your 2?
The Thing. I mean, you
Oh.
pretty much talked me out of it. So.
Did I?
And I'm not putting Hocus Pocus up there. So. Like,
You talked me out.
let's do. I mean, you guys down with like District 9, Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's see here. Oh, the Big Kanowski, I guess it's called.
Hey, that's what it would be called, yeah.
All right, we're on 6 now. Oops, 6. I have Zombieland. I really hope it's on this list.
Yeah, you can throw it in
What
there.
else do you have?
Coming to America, Spirited Away, Napoleon Dynamite.
What in your top 5 though? Is all your 5 in
Oh,
there?
crap! I forgot my 4 and 5.
Dude.
I wrote down my 1, 2, and 3.
Trying to remember.
Well, you
Good Will
still.
Hunting was in there somewhere.
Good Will Hunting
Yeah,
is
Good
at
Will
5.
Hunting was 5, and then 4.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Avatar.
Yep.
So I honestly, because I think Avatar is close to being greenlit,
Yeah.
I would like it on the list, but I would put it more towards 10.
Yeah,
So we
for
can
sure.
save that for
Because
later.
It's more of a potential to actually.
Yeah, it's
Right.
actually, it's
Cool.
actually possible. Pretty much.
But what are you guys thinking for?
Hey, you haven't got your 2 is skipped, so throw yours down.
Oh yeah, Zombieland. I forgot. And then okay, so we're on 7 now. I have John Wick and Big Trouble in Little China left. What do you have left?
I have Dread Hellboy 28 months later, or 20 weeks later.
What
and
do you
then
got left?
Goodwill Hunting.
Goodwill Hunting and
Avatar.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Let's take one from yours, one from mine.
Okay.
We got Avatar coming.
I would like the Dread. It's my highest one.
I think
I want
so,
to see
yeah.
that one.
All right, I'll just put Dread down. Dress. Come on now.
Dress. Come on, iPhones.
8. Let's go. I think John Wick's a better property. I think it's probably more relevant right now.
For sure. Hey, but I think they're pretty close to greenlighting theirs too. Let me look at.
John Wick 2?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize there were. Let me know. And then if that's the case, then I'll bump it down to 9. But right now we have 9 open.
Yeah, there's a release date set for it. Chapter 2, 2017.
God. Let's just take John Wick off then. It's got a
Sorry,
release.
man.
If it's got a release date, I can't put it on there.
Oh, they even started filming. Look at this.
Oh,
got-
jeez. All right, so sorry, Big Trouble in Little China's got to go on there. All right, we have 1 spot left.
I didn't know that though. That was already that.
Yeah,
far.
neither did I. I didn't look that far into it. Do we have? Shit. Oh yeah, we do have Inception. I was like, we didn't put Inception on there. It's the number 1. So what do you guys have left in your top 5? You have
Goodwill Hunting.
Goodwill Hunting versus.
I got Hellboy and 28 Weeks Later.
All right, I think it's gonna come down. I don't know. I think you have 2 left. He has 1.
Yeah.
I think we go with one of yours.
Fair.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You pick
What did you say?
Hellboy or 28 Weeks Later?
I haven't seen 28 Weeks Later, so I can't really judge, but
You see both Hellboys?
yeah.
You like them?
Yeah.
All right.
Should we spin the wood or just Hellboy?
I'm cool with Hellboy. It was higher on my list anyways. So.
Let's do that. I think it's a property that get a lot of love too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I'll do 10-9-8. A's, you do 7-6-5. Trace, you do 4-3-2, and then we'll all say number 1.
Boom.
All right, now to our top 10 shows. Top 10 films that need a sequel. At number 10, James Cameron's Avatar. At number 9, Hellboy. At number 8, Big Trouble in Little China.
At number 7, we have Dread. Number 6, Zombieland. Number 5, The Big Lebowski.
And now you go 4-3-2-1. 4-2-2.
Beautiful.
4-3-2.
4 is District 9. 3, Master and Commander. And 2, Tron Legacy.
And
Number
now our top 10
1.
shows. Number 1 film that needs a sequel.
Inception.
Woo!
Inception, come on. Come in. Let's see here. Thanks, AIDS, for coming. Listen to the first Film Eat Film. It was off the hook. Damon, Big DZ Gumbert fighting Joey J. Neems Neemy, and James and the Giant Peach Siski was hosting.
Yeah.
Next one's coming out on... Next one we are recording Tuesday, which will be yours truly, Trace, versus Taylor Ruffalo Wheeler.
Ruffalo Wheeler.
And Siski will be hosting again, so look for that coming out probably Thursday, possibly Friday. Like, subscribe, comment, please. Thank you guys so much. We are on 29 subscribers. I want 1 more subscriber. If we get 1 more subscriber, I'll probably throw out another code.
Hit that big 3-0.
Yeah, we need a milestone here. So we need that. We need that 30th subscriber. We need to give away codes because I have a crap ton of them and I have nothing to do with them. So please subscribe, comment. This was another show that we did based on a fan reaction. So please, if you have any ideas for different shows, let us know. We're always happy to help. Otherwise,
It's us signing off, I guess. Yeah.
we are out. Stay classy.
Howdy. Titans.
Titans!
Titans!